It's the Full Court Press with Eric Franson and Jason Walker.
Welcome back to the to the show that we're doing right now.
Following the local teams, breaking down the biggest games with in-depth analysis and team interviews.
There's going to be much higher expectations, sense of awareness of what we bring to the table.
Join the show by calling into 435-752-1069 or text 435-339-0321. It's the Full Court Press.
Throws, ends up, yes! Caught! Touchdown! They did it!
Good afternoon and welcome to the Full Court Press. Jason Walker here and filling in for Eric Franson, it's Egbert Albertson.
Yes. Egbert, I love how creative you're getting. You're getting better, Jason Waker. You've grown up from the day that, you couldn't get us on air for the first 5 minutes of the show to now you can get us on the air and you're coming up with creative names. You are doing great.
That makes me feel good. You've been very complimentary of me.
Is that scaring you a little bit? Is that uncomfortable?
No, well, I don't.
Is that making you feel uncomfortable, Jason Waker?
I'm one of those people that's really bad at taking compliments, so it's...
What are you, Irish? Why?
I don't know. I mean, my ancestors are pretty much all from England, like on both sides of the family.
Okay, that would make sense.
Maybe some of them are Irish if you go back far enough.
See, I have a massive ego. So when someone pays me a compliment, I'm like, yeah, I know. Yeah, I already knew that.
Oh, the compliments make me feel good, but like outwardly, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not that good, and
yeah. I remember the first time I came over and talked to you about, when you first joined the Full Court Press. I was like, man, you're doing a great job. I remember you put your head down and you're like, I don't know, man. I hope I'm doing all right. I'm like, what the hell's your problem? I just told you you're doing a good job.
Actually,
shut up, look at me in the eyes, and say, yes, I am doing a good job, and I know it. Yeah. The ratings are better than when you were on the show, Ajay. Get over it.
I don't really see the ratings.
Nah, there is no ratings here, actually.
There's, podcast downloads.
I know the Solid Market has ratings for all their stuff. I don't think this one does, though. So
yeah, I don't think they really have the radio listening ratings or anything like that. Like I said, the best we got is podcast.
Whatever, do your roll call. Be like, hey, roll call right now. Call roll call.
All right, roll call. Everyone on the text line, text in. Tell me what you had for breakfast this morning.
There you go. Good. Yes.
Let's get the whole text line. Set a record for most
I
different
did
people
movie choices
texting.
For next week. You want to do breakfast for this morning. I
Yeah.
love it, man. Roll call right now. Anyone listening to the show, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
9 through 5. He's not saying what he had for breakfast. Does Egbert get the bread from the bread and butter play of the game, seeing as how he's not an employee of the station?
No, I do not. I do not. That's sad, man. I miss old Gristmill's bread. Oh, God, it's so good.
You could probably, call in, listen to the game tonight. I'm going to be giving out 2 different bread and butter play of the games because we do one for Skyview and one for Logan.
Oh.
Because I've got to tell Al one, and then we're going to have the one here.
So if I call in and Eric answers, go, this is Egbert, and the play of the game, let's see, is that running QB who ran 30 yards really fast. Really fast.
Please do that.
Oh, man. Yes. I hope.
Just have the most ridiculous accent.
I'll do it. I swear to life, I'll do it.
But that depends if Eric is back by Monday. But we'll see.
Yeah.
The plans are not set. Things are a little hectic right now. So.
Yep.
Getting the roll call in for breakfast. 9 through 5 said he had steak and eggs.
Ooh, scrambled or sunny side up? Are you a scrambled or sunny side up guy?
I prefer scrambled, but I certainly enjoy a fried egg. I remember because most of the last few times I've had an actual fried egg was when it was on a burger.
Tabasco or no Tabasco sauce or ketchup or whatever? You put anything on the eggs? I gotta go Tabasco sauce. I'm a huge Tabasco guy.
Usually plain. The thing is, I'm usually eating it with toast or putting it on toast. That's
God,
probably
my mouth is salivating right now. Crap.
So usually the eggs are fairly plain. I'll put cheese on them sometimes.
Okay.
But usually not any kind of sauce or anything like that. So welcome to the bed and breakfast full court press.
Yes,
show.
This is great. Whatever we do, we're getting answers.
Yeah,
we're getting roll call.
Yesterday was movie recommendations. Today it's
breakfast, man.
5452 says a maple bar from Lee's.
Ooh, I love maple bars.
Breakfast of Champions.
You're gonna owe me on Monday.
88968 says a piece of toast and a cup of coffee.
Ooh, what's
There
your
you
choice
go.
of coffee? Are you a black coffee? Sugar? No sugar? Cream? No cream?
I don't know anything about coffee.
Oh man, dude, I used to make coffee at Maverick when I was working at Maverick. Oh my gosh, I love the smell of it.
I do not like the smell of it.
Oh, he sent another text, by the way.
8968. Oh yeah, he sent one in before the show actually. He sent it about 10 minutes before the show started. Said
Okay, let's hear this.
College football in general and the way it's being ran is starting to smell as bad as a very bad episode of Keeping Up with the.
I love that.
The car nasty one.
Yes,
The
that is
cartoons.
from now on what we are going to refer to it as.
So it needs to be overhauled with fans of every school in mind, not just the very rich areas.
And unfortunately, that's never going to be the case. I love what 8968 said, especially about Carnasty ones. I haven't seen a Carnasty episode in a long time, but the problem with football now is the rich get richer.
Yeah.
And unless you're a qualified member of the rich and famous, Boise State, San Diego State, UNLV for that matter, you can't get that recognition.
They're not even getting recognition because
I don't know.
among the Mountain West, they're getting some of that recognition. UNLV because they're in Vegas, that's about the only reason they get recognition. San Diego State, Boise State, they're the big fish of the Mountain West. But you look at college football in general, like the national media and your average, air quotes, average college football fan, they don't give a rip about San Diego State and Boise State. They'll know the name. Just like, everybody knows BYU, but nobody cares in reality.
That's not true, though. I mean, let's be bluntly honest with ourselves here. Everybody cares about BYU. East Coast, West Coast,
Everybody
Midwest.
around here cares about BYU. There's a lot of people who couldn't give a rip about them.
They bring the money. They bring the rate.
Well, people will see them as, there's a reason they were able to get into the Big 12. It's because there is some respect for them.
Okay, agree.
As a, historically good, just like with Utah, there was some respect there.
Still is.
Yeah, still is. With both of those now being Power 5 teams. But it's very much becoming a, we only care about the best teams in the SEC, the best teams in the Big 10. Especially with the way, ESPN only cares about the SEC. Fox only cares about the Big 10. Like every year, you'd see people coming on Fox, shows whining about nobody caring about the Big 10, but because they're trying to promote the Big 10 because that's the conference that they show on their TV stations. ESPN, they only talk about the SEC. That's their thing, and so people are only caring about the rich. Sure, there are others who can kind of get into the party. If BYU had an undefeated season in the Big 12, they'd get some attention. But how many people were really talking to TCU last year?
I'll give you that.
I'll
give you that.
It's all about the Alabamas, the Georgias, the LSUs, the Michigans, Ohio States. There's about 12 or 15 kids in the club. And that's college football. And
But has it gotten better? Now that when Utah broke the BCS busting mirror that stood forever, and 04 Fiesta Bowl, Alex Smith and his Utes were poorly matched up with. It's not poorly. It was just a really bad matchup for Pittsburgh, right? I mean, they routed them 35-17. Do you feel like the respect has gotten better now? Boise State did the same thing with Oklahoma. 09 Fiesta Bowl, 09 or 10 Fiesta Bowl again, right? UCF. Now you're getting these little guys playing with the big boys.
Well, I think the way it's gotten better, at least it's gotten bigger, is that you mentioned all those teams, they're all in or going to Power 5 conferences, with the exception of Boise State.
Yeah.
So they've just absorbed those teams into the Big Kids Club, what's going to become the Power 4. I mean, you are technically losing a couple because Oregon State and Washington State are going to fall out of that club, but they weren't really, the big boys anyway. They haven't been particularly relevant among Power 5
Man, so you
conferences.
could tell it to Oregon State. That'd be great.
They don't want to admit it, but
I'm getting
know
tired
what's
of them, man.
So I think that's where you can say at least it's getting a little bigger. Because, again, if you're in a Power Conference, you have a path to, in football, you have a path to the playoff.
Yeah.
If you play well in your conference and you're, undefeated and, as long as you don't have this horribly easy schedule, you're going to get in because there is that automatic respect. And they might give it to you grudgingly. I don't think people really wanted to recognize TCU last year.
Sure, I would agree.
But they at least recognized them.
2010, TCU. I mean, people don't want to recognize TCU, and then they beat Wisconsin in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in that case, they were in the Mountain West.
They were a Mountain West team.
So
yep, you're right.
But so it's even better for TCU because they don't have to deal with you're not in, a power conference, because then they'll write you off like they won't give you a shot. These days, like Cincinnati's the only team to get into the G5 team to get into a playoff, and they only pulled that off because they beat Notre Dame. They don't beat Notre Dame that year. They don't get into the playoff.
Yeah, I would agree 100% on that one. That's a great point.
So,
hey, sorry, side tangent. I know we're way off base here, but whatever. It's 4:11. I have to ask you this. I talked to someone at Utah State. We have an open date on the football schedule for next year. Diana Sable also mentioned this on an interview in Salt Lake as well. Would you rather... Okay, let me ask the listeners as well, and I want to hear it from you as well, Jason, please. BYU or Utah? Now, if you go to Utah, you got to play at Utah. You probably... I mean, and I think one of them would have to be a home-and-home game, or at least some way or some sort. Do we at some point just say, you know what? Like, look, if they don't want to play ball, that's fine, but we want to play in-state teams. Do you surrender, throw the white flag, and say, yes, we'll play you, or do you continue to fight the battle of we want home and home, or we don't play you at all? Because I want to get these games going. I want to go play Utah in basketball and in football. I want to go play those guys. And if we have to surrender to it, then, God, maybe we do. I know that kind of kicks the standover of us being strong, but gosh, dang it, man.
I'm not really passionate about it. To me, in football, that's probably one where you can just kind of wave the white flag. It doesn't really matter. It's not as big a deal. And
to go play at their place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because in football, and I've said this for a while, it's a lot more justifiable for BYU and Utah to snub Utah State in football scheduling.
I would agree.
Because there's so fewer games, and playing those home and home, there is actually, you could say, some kind of disadvantage to them in their scheduling.
Sure.
They just don't have enough room to always be playing in-state teams. And it just doesn't work quite, and especially going on the road. Because usually if they're going on the road, they want it to be a tougher matchup than Utah State.
In the middle of the season, during conference weekend, Utah State's going to UConn. We're going across the doggone country to go play a football game. Next year, we're going to Temple. We don't make a dime out of either of those games. What are we doing here? If we're not going to get paid to go play them, then let's go play BYU or Utah.
Yeah, and I think that's where you can just say, okay, let's just go play there. Those are programs that you're having a rough time going to beat anyway, just because at this point in their football program, they are just better than Utah State. At least more consistent.
More consistent,
especially
okay.
Utah. BYU's been a bit up and down.
Utah's they're a beast.
Utah's just a different animal.
Okay, and I'd like to hear from the listeners too, but I had to ask that because it's been on my mind for a while.
Yeah.
You know, that open day next year, and she has had conversations with both Harlan and Holmo. I don't know how those conversations have gone. I don't know what they're like. I don't know what the future looks like, but I think there's some open discussion of, can we make it work? How can we make it work?
Yeah. The thing with basketball, and again, I said this, there's no excuse for there not to be
home and
homes with BYU and Utah.
I would agree, 100%.
Whatever's getting in the way, whether it's Utah State or BYU or Utah, and I suspect it's BYU and Utah who are refusing to do the home
especially it's Utah basketball, yeah.
Because it's like, what are you even doing? It's ridiculous. It's stupid. And especially because neither of those programs are anywhere close to what their respective football programs have been.
Yeah.
Utah State's been just as good, if not better, consistently than both.
I would say better in the last 4 years.
So, and BYU shouldn't be afraid to play Utah State. They beat them 10 straight times.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't be afraid to play the Aggies. Utah's probably afraid because
I would say Craig Smith is very sketchy about wanting to play Utah State for a myriad of reasons that are obvious.
Yeah, I don't think as long as Craig Smith's in Utah, they're not coming to Utah State.
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
it's not happening. BYU, maybe, I don't know. They seem like they're at least a little more willing to come to. They've been to Utah State more recently than Utah. So. But they're really pretty much every in-state team in Utah should probably be playing each other, with maybe some minor exceptions.
I would agree.
Utah State should play Weber and BYU and Utah and UVU probably about every year.
Southern Utah, why not? Allow them to. If they're an in-state team, let's go play basketball.
Yeah, you should play at least one or two out of, Weber, UVU, and
Every
SU.
year. And if you have to rotate it through, by all means, fine.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Like, commit 3 or 4 games in your non-conference schedule to the in-state teams.
I would agree.
And so I know you can't, because basically you have, so that's 5? Because
Yeah.
Utah, BYU, Weber, SU, UVU. Heck, you even got Utah Tech in there.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't play all 6 of them because that's half your non-conference schedule. But BYU, Utah especially, they should be doing, everybody playing each other every year. Rotate through the other 3 on a consistent basis and do home and homes with them. Go to Weber, go to Utah Tech, go to UVU. BYU's been to UVU.
Mm-hmm.
So, because Utah State, they shouldn't be snobbish about, not going to Utah Tech and not going to UVU and they've been to Weber. So, I think all these in-state teams should be able to establish consistency in playing each other. Because there's enough games in the non-conference schedule. Utah State every year is complaining about how hard it is to get teams to come to the Spectrum. Well, get in-state teams to come to the Spectrum. And they're winnable games. And the teams are good. They're going to help your non-conference schedule. Everybody wins.
It makes so much sense.
Everyone just wants to be stubborn.
Yeah, and that's we need a.
And that's one of the biggest things that's killing college sports. Is everyone's being stubborn. Everyone's being stupid. Everyone's being prideful. And like I said, Utah State's not exempt from this because, like I said,
We've had our moments.
Yeah,
the whole home and home, like I get it, like we want that, but if they want us to play neutral, let's go. Then fine, let's go beat Utah in Salt Lake City at the Della Center. Let's go throttle them by 20 and be like, all right, we'll always beat you in Salt Lake.
Yeah,
we'll see you at your place and we'll beat you there too.
Yeah, it's just
Anyways,
kind of ridiculous.
Sorry, it was off the chart, but I had to ask you, and I've been dying to get your opinion, Jason. I know we got a bunch of texts here still coming through.
Yeah, let's go through the text line. 8003. Got a few texts coming in.
Okay.
Said Ajay again. Could this week end on a higher note?
Oh my gosh.
I would submit it cannot.
8003 is legitimately one of my most favorite people. Piranhas is on that list. Love the listeners. Great guys, yes.
He also noted
Great
his
humans.
breakfast, Paco's Tacos Bacon Burrito.
Why did you... have you ever had the California burrito there? I go there way too much, and it shows. But I go there. The California burrito is a must. Great choice, 8003. I got a text from my friend Tony Nielsen. He says Mountain Dew for breakfast.
That's my kind of breakfast. I usually don't eat breakfast.
I usually skip too.
I usually eat a bit of a larger lunch.
I just don't care enough.
Yeah,
All right, anyway,
I don't
sorry.
wake up early enough. 8003 also saying I could not care less about YBU. Screw them.
Yeah. I mean, and I love the attitude of Aggie fans. Like, who cares? But I want to see in-state games.
It's 2409 says if the rich are the only ones getting players and recognition, how do you explain Colorado and Coach Prime?
Oh, that's a great point. Okay, well
largely because
Coach Prime brought that money there. Would you say that?
Deion Sanders is also one of the most recognizable names in NFL history.
I would,
at least
yep.
Relatively recent NFL history.
Mm-hmm.
And he is the guy with personality and with clout. And so, yeah, he brought that, with that NFL recognition.
Came the cha-ching.
Which NFL is like twice as big as college football.
Sure.
And he brings that to Colorado, who's already a Power 5 team.
The amount of money that he has brought in, season tickets, merchandise, sunglasses are now a thing all of a sudden. In 1 week, sunglasses became a big deal for everybody. That is Prime. You're right. I love what you said there. Deion Sanders, his name alone brings that richness financially.
Yeah, and that kind of plays where I feel
literally.
like if you're a Power 5 team, you're in the club and you have a chance.
Boy,
Now, there's kind of tiers in that Power 5, but if you're good enough, you can jump up. You're never maybe going to be in Alabama, Clemson. But like I said, if you're Colorado, you get the right coach, the right money, maybe they can jump up and play with the big boys.
We're about to find out in the next 2 weeks if Colorado is one of those teams who can jump up. Well, yeah.
So, this week, too, with Oregon. 8968. I don't care as much about BYU, but I would like to play Utah.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love to get a shot at Utah. Football and, just because it's Utah and football, right? We're talking about Kyle Whittingham's Sugar Bowl team. They've been there. They've done that. I'd love to go play Utah in football. I don't know if it would end well for us, but I'd love to go play Utah in football. And then basketball, I just want to go kick Craig Smith's you-know-what.
Yeah, I think
I just want to go beat them by 30.
I think a lot of Aggie fans right now in basketball would be more willing to play Utah than BYU.
Yeah.
Just because of Craig Smith.
And granted, or BYU basketball isn't that great right now. I know they're kind of falling off an edge. We're going to see what Mark Pope really is made of in his first year in the Big 12. But I think Utah is a bigger draw for me to go play than BYU is.
And then, 9315.
Oh,
I think
boy.
There's a couple of texts.
Good luck on this.
The deflator may not seem...
Seen an episode
of card trashings.
I love that. I feel like the car nasty ones, but yes, go ahead.
But he did say he has been watching.
Yes, well, don't worry about it. Okay, what I do on my own time is none of your dang business.
I think I had the same thought where you said you haven't seen an episode
Leave
in a while.
me alone.
I've never seen one. And then 9315 says, I want in-state play to be fair for both teams.
We all do, but that's just not going to happen, right? It's just not going to happen. You're not going to get a happy side for both ways.
Yeah, gone are the days where everybody plays everyone every year in football and basketball and literally everything. 7241 says California burritos are absolutely goated.
7241, you're now on my favorite list as well. California burritos, give me the cheese. Oh my gosh, have you never had one, have you? The way you're looking at me.
I've not. It's been recommended to me very heavily.
What?
But I've never actually gone out of my way to go get it.
It's just down the road. Go pick you up one on Monday afternoon. You're having lunch. Don't eat your little rice and beans. No. Go down the road and we'll get you a California burrito. Look. And go get
You implied I eat rice and beans all the time.
I don't know. Do you like, I just thought you'd be a rice and beans guy. Everybody likes rice and beans.
Yeah, it's all right.
Brown rice. Pinto beans.
All right, we need to take a break. On the other side, some news about a former Jazz player and
Oh, jeez.
contract extension.
Here we go. Dude, these listeners are about to tune out, but we got to do it.
Yeah,
we got to do it.
We got to bring it up because it is actually still relevant to this. And I do actually want to ask a question of the listeners regarding former Jazz players. We'll get to that coming up next here on the Full Court Press.
Fall is here. This is Mark at the Sportsman on Main Street. I invite you into our amazing store to see the new fall collection of amazing clothing, shoes, and outerwear for women and men. We have brands like Cool, Fiore, Fjallraven, and we have brought in some new brands from Europe that you will love. Trust me, you will look truly unique in whatever you buy from the Sportsman. Come in and let us take care of you. You'll be glad you did. For over 75 years, come and see us at the Sportsman on Main in downtown Logan with tons of parking in the back.
Not everyone has been in an accident, but everyone knows someone who has. If you or a loved one has been hurt in a car, truck, motorcycle, cycling, or pedestrian accident, call the Advocates today, now with offices in Cache Valley. The Advocates offer free consultations. Talk with an experienced attorney and let an advocate guide you through your case and take over the stress of phone calls with the insurance company so you can rest and get better. You didn't deserve to be in an accident, but you do deserve an advocate. Chat online at utahadvocates.com or call 801-355-5550.
Clean it up and get it out this fall.
Don't wait another winter. Let DD Auto and Salvage pay you for that junk vehicle. DD Auto and Salvage makes it so easy and fast to get rid of your junker vehicles by paying you the most money possible. Pickup is available. If you have metal, DD Auto and Salvage in Logan want to pay you today. Search DD Auto and Salvage today or call 787-1204.
That's 787-1204.
See store for details. Nearly 21 years ago, Cafe Sabor opened their doors in historic Logan train station. With the help of hundreds of amazing employees and patronage of thousands of wonderful customers, Cafe Sabor is proud to have been voted 3 years in a row Cache Valley's favorite Mexican restaurant in the Best of Northern Utah contest. Follow Cafe Sabor on social media for giveaways and promotions. Search Cafe Sabor for a restaurant near you. Thank you, Cache Valley, from your friends at Cafe Sabor.
Nothing better than a great song from 1976. Hi, this is Bob Larson with LSS Insurance, and I'm talking to you, graduating class of 76. Even if you're still working or getting ready to retire, Medicare is a conversation we need to have. Let us help you understand Medicare and all your options. Don't rely on TV ads or annoying phone calls. Having a local agent makes all the difference. Call LSS at 752-9493. Call 752-9493.
This is Nate Lamson with Valley Office Systems, your home team when local matters. Valley Office Systems is your local provider for all things office, copiers, printers, furniture, and document management. Proudly serving Cache Valley since 2007. Visit valleyofficesystems.com.
At the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, we believe every athlete deserves to be safe. Safe from abuse and misconduct on and off the field. Join the movement to champion respect and end abuse at uscenterforstatesport.org.
It doesn't matter who you root for. The Full Court Press has all the high school sports covered. The Full Court Press. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and online at 1069thefan.com.
Welcome back, Full Court Press. Gotta love the music that slaps, or just has a good beat drop.
Did you say music that slaps?
Yeah, slaps. Haven't you heard that's what the kids are saying these days?
You're not one of them, so don't say that. You're a grown-up adult, okay? Okay, you're over 20.
Am I though? Youth is fleeting, but immaturity is forever.
Jason, let's. I mean, this is an adult show. Let's keep it that way. Not really, but look, just don't. And by the way, that song sucks.
It's got a good little.
No, it doesn't.
It's got a good little melody.
No,
though.
it doesn't. Honestly, go listen to the instrumental version and tell me that has a good melody.
That basically was the instrumental version.
It just plays over and over again. And you know what the guy just over and over and over says? Didn't know that I was lost. Didn't know that I was.
I didn't say it was a masterpiece.
And over.
And it's not a masterpiece
it's not,
lyrically. But
no,
it's
it is
got
not
a fun
a masterpiece,
little melody.
period.
Like that's what pop music is now. It's a fun little melody. That's basically every single song.
By the way, did you know, I just found out who Jimmy Buffett was at the Iowa game. Did you hear the story?
No.
Halftime. No, not halftime. Pregame. I'm talking to Scott Gerard, and I'm like, hey, boss, I'm like, why is Jimmy Buffett trending? Because I thought Jimmy Buffett was the FLDS dude, and I didn't know he was a singer. And so I was like, why is Jimmy Buffett? This guy's a horrible person. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, dude, this guy was like marrying other women and stuff. And he goes, that you mean Warren Buffett? And I was like, who? He goes, Warren Buffett. So we went from Jimmy Buffett to Warren Buffett to Warren Jeffs, I guess. Then they started playing Margaritaville in the press box.
I didn't really like that song particularly.
Oh my gosh, you like that song right here, but you don't like Margaritaville?
No, not particularly.
Oh my gosh, Jason, let's just get on with other stuff. Oh wait, 8003. The carne asada fries burrito slaps.
See? That's what the kids are saying.
Quit saying slaps. It's not a freaking word. Oh my gosh. What are we doing? What are we doing?
That was perfect, especially because that one came in before the break, and it's just like it came back to slap you in the face.
8003. Apologize right now.
No, don't apologize.
Oh my gosh.
Don't apologize.
Oh. All right. 6133. Ajay, you missed your calling in life. You should go on America's Got Talent with that voice. Yes.
8003 saying, this could be another Tom Petty situation?
No.
What is this?
Okay, so one day, me and Eric are talking with your awesome listeners, and we're talking about good halftime shows, right? Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Justin Timberlake, Janet Jackson. Okay, and then we thought, well, we need more good shows. I suggested Tom Petty, up-and-coming artist. Found out the dude had died.
Yeah, a while ago.
That's what I was told by Wikipedia. No, it's not going to be another situation like that.
8003. Sorry, Ajay.
Thank you.
It's a really good, really, really good burrito.
That's fine.
It slaps.
Jason, I swear, so help me, if this becomes a trend on this text line.
What, saying slaps?
That I'm only here like once every 4 months because you only call me once every 4 months. But still, Jason, no. The burrito doesn't have any hands to slap you. It can't slap you.
Slaps your taste buds. All right, so let's move on to sports. That's theoretically what we talk about on this show. So I'm curious to know, because there's this report, and it kind of catches my eye, and I think the eye of a lot of Jazz fans. But I'm wondering, I'll ask the text chat this, like, how much do you, at this point, still pay attention to what's going on with like Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, and even other former Jazz players. Joe Ingles, just basically, Mike Conley. Obviously, he's with Rudy Gobert in Minnesota. How much do you pay attention to these former Jazz players, especially the stars? Because there's a lot of guys that come in and out of Utah. There's a lot more journeymen these days. With free agency and contracts, people are just willing to move with the drop of a hat. And there's also a lot of trades. But this news coming out today, or I think late yesterday, that Donovan Mitchell is not expected to sign a contract extension this year. He's eligible for one right now. Now, he still has, I think, a year plus a player option left on his contract. I think.
Yeah, he's got 1 year left. Now, this doesn't come as a shock to anybody.
Yeah.
With, next summer, that's going to be the boiling point of the whole situation. But the fact that he's not like, I'm thinking about it, but no, it was just a flat out no. And by the way, this guy's not eligible for a Supermax.
Yeah, he can't sign the big,
So,
the big mega contract.
I mean, it'd be like a big extension next summer.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 or so years. Likelihood that he stays in Cleveland, what do you think?
It's hard because it depends.
New York doesn't have any spots for him.
It just depends on how good Cleveland is, because Donovan Mitchell strikes me as the kind of guy who, if the team is good enough, he will play with them. He values winning, and he values winning over market.
Man, I wish he played like it when he was with the Jazz.
Yeah. I think with the Jazz, he just lost faith in their ability to win, and then he...
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. He lost faith in their ability to win?
Didn't say it was smart. I just said that's what I think. Although I wasn't necessarily inclined to disagree with him. I think that they that year where they were the number 1 seed, that was probably their best chance, and they blew it.
Donovan Mitchell was the biggest reason why they blew it.
I wouldn't necessarily say that's
absolutely. He shot horribly, couldn't play defense. Yeah, 100%.
I don't think he wasn't at fault, but I think a little too much blame is getting lumped on Donovan Mitchell, especially now that he's gone.
Okay, so there's
a lot of revisionist history.
Oh, okay. Interesting thought process. Continue, sorry.
So, yeah, with Donovan Mitchell, he's willing to play wherever he thinks he's going to win. If all else is equal, he'd probably want to go to a bigger market. New York is obviously the big,
There's no spot for him to really start.
So yeah,
Miami, if they get Damian Lillard, he ain't going there.
Yeah, so it depends. It'd probably be a bigger market. But if Cleveland can prove that they prove to Donovan, that's who matters. If they can prove to Donovan in his mind that they can win a championship, he'll sign an extension there.
And it's about $37 million is what you're looking at.
Yeah,
for 3 years.
So it'll come down a lot to what happens this season. If it's happens like in Utah, where maybe they don't live up to expectations, because Cleveland's got a lot of talent theoretically, but they've also got some holes in their roster, some weaknesses that they have.
What besides?
I know 3-point shooting's been an issue.
Okay, well, unless you're the Warriors, and 3-point shooting is a lot of teams' issues right now.
And the Jazz weren't hurting for 3-point shooting last year.
That's because Jordan Clarkson was taking 80% of them.
Jordan Clarkson was one of the worst 3-point shooters on the team last year.
He's still taking a lot of them. Didn't say he was making a lot of them.
But the Jazz were fine. They had Markkanen taking a lot of threes. They were relatively efficient.
My concern is that guys like Mitchell he's going to be a part of the continued trend of I gotta look for a place where if it's not perfect for my needs, I'm not gonna be there. Instead of just trying to create something great one place, he wants to leave and jump ship to go to somewhere else where it's already made for him and that they cater to his needs. Hey, would you like your feet massaged? Do you want your hands pampered? Do you need your nails come on.
Well, these are players
Go play basketball, man. Go be a winner.
These are players who their entire lives have had that treatment, though. From high school on, they're pampered.
Okay, but it's the NBA. Go figure your own crap out. Quit being a sissy and being like, oh, it's not working here. I want to go find somewhere it is. Can you trade me, please? Because I'm not happy here.
Yeah.
But
I think that's something that, because you look at the players, in high school, they kind of have to create their own thing, but they're so super talented that they just make their team the best possible.
AAU.
They're able to team up with all their buddies.
Yeah.
They go to college. They get to pick where they go to college. And, in college, we're seeing the same attitude where If it doesn't work, bam, transfer.
Transfer portal.
Like half the team for for Utah State transfer because I want to go somewhere else because new coach, I guess, or
more money
or cash.
I mean, Max Shulga and Sean Barstow made $175,000 each at VCU. Yeah. Trevin Dorius is making $70,000 at Utah Valley. $70,000 at Utah Valley. Ryland's making pretty good money at Samford right now.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's just they're these guys that they're running away to what they perceive are better situations. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. But it's just that's what they're having growing up.
But
when they get to the NBA, they're going to do the same thing. They're not going to change.
But and I mean, and I don't know if it's coincidence or not. But look at when has that ever happened for a Utah Jazz player where they've left Utah and it's actually worked out elsewhere? Gordon Hayward split his foot in half in Game 1 against Cleveland Cavaliers. Deron Williams became fat, started eating donuts, and became horrible and was bad at Brooklyn. Was a mediocre player at Dallas.
I forgot he even went to Dallas.
Yeah, don't you remember he put 18 up on us in the first half at our place, knocked us out of the playoffs practically? Dirk Nowitzki had like 37 in that game. Who else? Enes Kanter literally quit basketball.
He played for several more teams. He played most of his career.
Was he a factor though?
About as much as he was in Utah.
About as much as Trey Lyles was, right? When he went to Denver.
These guys. I see the point.
Yeah.
The Stars haven't done well. That's just more of a weird curse for Utah apparently puts on its departing players. There have been players who do just fine after their Utah career. Paul Millsap did better than he ever did with the Jazz.
Man, yeah. Wes Matthews was really good until he went to Portland and signed a $34.5 million sheet and then just became a really deep role player, I guess.
Yeah, injuries kind of plagued him after a while.
I forgot. Yeah, injuries did get him.
He got chased around by injuries. Al Jefferson had one good year after the Jazz.
Where did he go after that?
I think it was Charlotte.
It was Charlotte. That's right.
And
he came from Charlotte and went to Charlotte.
Yeah, and he had one pretty solid year.
Remember when him and Millsap and those guys went to the playoffs for the first time in what seemed like forever? I mean, got just obliterated by San Antonio, but went to the playoffs and we're all excited about it. Yeah. And then,
but that's the thing. So when you look, do we honestly care about what Donovan Mitchell is doing? Do we care about Rudy Gobert?
I don't care about Rudy or Donovan. But I think that those guys are going to find out it's worse when you leave.
Yeah, and I think both of them. I think Donovan Mitchell's actually about the same as where he was, maybe.
He's not going to get any better.
He's not really any significantly better or significantly worse than he was in Utah.
I would agree.
He's getting about as much attention. He's putting up similar stats. Rudy Gobert definitely fell off. He's lost a lot of his reputation.
Well, but that's not his fault.
And not
that one's on Ant Edwards. That one's on Minnesota. That one's on their whole entire organization.
And that's the thing is that Rudy was the one that I think was willing to stick around with the Jazz.
Hey, who do you feel got screwed the most in regards to being traded? Here's your options: Rudy Gobert, Kyle Korver, or
when?
Oh, man. Or Joe Ingles.
Kyle Korver being traded away from the Jazz?
Yeah.
The second time he was here in Utah?
No, first time.
Didn't he go to Atlanta?
He got traded, didn't he?
I think.
Yeah, he got traded.
Did that Atlanta team? That's where Paul Millsap went.
Dude, he was heartbroken when he got traded. He cried. He cried because he got traded because he loved it so much in Utah. And they're like, no, we don't need you. They traded him. Joe Ingles got hosed, man.
Yeah. Joe Ingles certainly, they kind of abandoned Joe Ingles. And I guess I didn't know much about Kyle Korver because I know career-wise,
he
took off. He took off after he went.
Yeah,
after he left.
Yeah,
Utah.
He was great at Atlanta. He was great at Atlanta. He was really good in Cleveland as a role player. Lost a lot of minutes, but he was fine being like a mentor to younger guys. And Utah Jazz could have used that. They really could have used him. And because we have such a stupid organization with bad management,
who do they trade him for? I don't remember that. 'Cause this is way back in
dude, I can't remember who it was either, and I know I have to look it up. But yeah, dude, he was heartbroken when he got traded that first time.
To me, as far as just looking career-wise, Rudy Gobert, because his career is going to tank now.
You think so? You don't think he can recover?
Not in Minnesota. not with that situation.
Yeah, Chris go to die there, huh?
They sent him to a pretty bad place considering his skill set.
Dude, that's so brutal. And what did we get at? Well, I guess we got 5 first-round picks out of
Jazz
it.
made out like bandits with
true.
both the Mitchell and Gobert
I guess
trades.
if we didn't have that money, then I would, or those draft picks, I would have been like, what the heck are we doing here?
And that's part of the reason why I'm mostly paying, especially with this Donovan Mitchell, because I'm basically rooting for Donovan Mitchell to leave Cleveland. Which makes me feel bad because I kind of root for Cleveland a lot of times because they're one of those underdog franchises.
I hate Cleveland. I started a mission there, and I still hate Cleveland, everything.
But for me, you want Mitchell to leave because that makes those draft picks better.
Oh, that's true. Hey, when do those draft picks come into play?
I think the first ones for like both trades are like 2027 or 2026.
I forgot about that.
So yeah, the Jazz, you almost want Minnesota, and the Jazz actually got one of the picks from Minnesota this year.
Yeah.
It ended up being the one that was like 19th. That's the Keontae George pick
one,
was
yeah.
the Minnesota. So if Keontae George turns into an All-Star, you can take Minnesota. And
Again.
Rudy Gobert. Yeah.
I swear, again. We just bully them in Nuggets in the draft.
All right, we got to take a break here. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about college football matchups. What are the big games?
UTEP, baby.
UTEP, yeah. Later on in the show, we'll talk a little bit more about Mountain West matchups, high school football matchups, recapping Ridgeline Mountain Crest that happened yesterday. That'll be in the second hour. But coming up next, let's talk college football. What are the biggest games that you might try and watch on a Saturday morning and afternoon as you get ready for Utah State, who plays at 6 o'clock? That's coming up next here on the Full Court Press.
Hi, this is Gene Needham of SC Needham Jewelers. I would like to welcome all USU students back to Logan. Perhaps this is the year you'll get engaged. Thousands of Aggies have shopped our store over the past century. We are Utah's oldest jewelry store. My children, Sylvan, JD, Elizabeth, Stuart, and Stratford represent our 5th generation of jewelers. When choosing a ring, visit our website at scneedham.com or simply visit our store in downtown Logan, where Utah gets engaged. SC Needham Jewelers, middle of the block at the sign of the clock.
Elements has delicious lunch specials. Soup, salad, and bread for just $10 is tasty and quick. Elements lunch menu is full of scrumptious items. Wood-fired pizzas are an excellent choice that include barbecued chicken and the bee's knees. The fresh battered halibut fish and chips with seasoned fries is always a hit. And don't forget the fan favorite, Chipotle fried chicken sandwich. Thursdays, enjoy Elements house-made smoked brisket. Casual or professional. Open Monday through Thursday, 11:30 to 8 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11:30 to 9. Visit theelementsrestaurant.com for reservations.
We are Aegis Home Health and Hospice. Aegis, A-E-G-I-S. Our home is your home. We are more than an organization of healthcare professionals. We are proud members of our community. Compassionate, quality patient care is our mission. I am Jason Jones. I'm a proud member of the Aegis team. At Aegis, we're dedicated to character, experience, and trust. Aegis Home Care and Hospice. We will ensure you experience the difference. 435-723-9000 or find us at myaegis.com.
Ooh, a brookie. I'll take 2 of those. What, a raspberry toaster tart? Yeah, 2 for me. How about...
There's something about a real good cookie.
Can't forget the classics. I'm thinking chocolate chip. And...
People in Logan are getting dirty at Dirty Dough. Cookies beyond imagination. Find a location near you at dirtydough.com.
Life gets messy. It's better with a cookie.
Sunday on Compass Media Network's coverage of the NFL. 2 playoff hopefuls desperate for their first win of the season square off in Week 3 in Minnesota as the Vikings host the Los Angeles Chargers. Hi, this is Chris Carino. Join Brian Balger and me for all the action as the Vikings, led by Kirk Cousins and the electrifying Justin Jefferson, try to outduel the dynamic Justin Herbert and the Chargers. It's the Vikings and the Chargers. If it's the NFL, it's right here.
Pregame begins Sunday at 10:30 on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, The Fan.
Join the show by calling 435-752-1069 or text 435-339-0321. It's the Full Court Press with Eric Franson and Jason Walker.
Welcome back to the Full Court Press. Jason Walker and Ajay Salvesen with you here. Talking college football, food, Utah Jazz, Donovan Mitchell.
We're hitting all the good topics today.
What the heck?
Him and
Why
his
is
friends would go
there's
shooting.
a commercial playing over us.
Jason, I mean, we try with you. We do. We try really hard with you.
We try.
We try.
Sometimes you succeed. You try.
You know what I hate, dude? I mean, I love traveling, right? It's such a fun opportunity to travel with the football team. But, dude, I miss some of the best games. Like, I'm looking at our schedule. I'm looking at some of the games I'm going to miss. Like, I'm going to miss BYU at Texas. I'm going to miss the Notre Dame, Ohio State game. I'm missing some great football. Yeah, like Oregon and Utah on the 21st. Guess who plays that day? Utah. We have a bye week. We don't play.
Yeah, you got a bye week the 28th.
Oregon and Utah. Fetch, yes. I can actually watch some football that day.
Yeah, so looking at college football matchups, when I go over those, there are, I tried to count, and maybe I missed one, but I got 6 top 25 matchups. 2 teams both ranked in the top 25.
Naughty.
You got number 6 Ohio State going against number 9 Notre Dame. Number 24 Iowa at number 7 Penn State. And here's a big one, future Mountain West matchup.
Oh, yeah.
Number 14,
Mountain
Oregon
West Bowl.
State. Number 21, Washington State.
Winner gets the easier division.
Yeah, there you go. Then you have number 15, Ole Miss. Number 13, or at number 13, Alabama. Number 22, UCLA. At number 11, Utah. And then the one everyone's paying attention to because of good old Coach Prime. Number 19, Colorado. At number 10, Oregon.
It's really weird it was really weird to hear you say Alabama number 13.
Yeah, it's
that's a weird thing to hear out of someone's mouth.
Usually you're just scratching that 1 off there. It's usually number 3 or scratch the 3 off. It's number 1.
Hey, so let's start with give me the one game you think that has your lower ranked team beating a higher ranked team.
Probably Washington State over Oregon State. That's
probably good one.
That's probably your best one. They're fairly close. I have a hard time seeing Notre Dame beating Ohio State. Don't see Iowa beating Penn State.
You don't see Iowa beating Penn State, huh?
No, it's possible. I mean, they're all top 25 teams. So they're all good teams.
So wait, do you have Ohio State beating Notre Dame, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
I will. So I'll take either Ole Miss beating Alabama. Actually, I probably would take that one. I was going to take Ohio State losing to Notre Dame, but Notre Dame at home in like big ranked games just doesn't end well for the Irish. So I'll say Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss going to Tuscaloosa and going to Paul Bryant's backyard and beating Alabama.
Just dogpiling on Alabama. Just send them outside the top 25.
Oh, man. Send them to the Mountain West.
Send them to the Mountain West.
Okay, Prime, going to Oregon. Oregon favored by 21. Over, under, Skittles, yes or no?
Wasn't this one of our pick 6?
Oh, shoot. Yeah, it was. Wait, was it? Yeah, it was.
I'm pretty sure it was. What did I...
You have it. You wrote it down.
I think I took Oregon to cover that.
Okay. What about UCLA, Utah? That's a big one in Rice Eccles Stadium.
I think it depends because I think Cam Rising's coming back, isn't it? So I'd take Utah on that one.
I'd like to see Utah beat UCLA.
Utah's done pretty well in there. I mean, they've won the Pac-12.
Those are games like Whittingham wins, man. Those kind of games.
Yeah, they do well in these Pac-12 games. They've got, granted, the Pac-12 is a lot better this year, so it's a little harder for Utah to take advantage of it. But
sure.
I think Utah State's able to take away this one, especially because they're at home. 9-5 texting in. Don't the Pac-2 have their championship game this week? Yeah, that's
they do.
That's Oregon State and Washington State taking on each other. They've both been pretty good. Oregon State, I think, has been more impressive. Pretty impressive. I mean, they're a top 15 team now.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, they're making a statement. We belong in
the Pac-12 conference.
We belong in not the Mountain West. It's their last hurrah.
Can you imagine?
It's just that's just.
And they're gonna flatten in basketball.
Yeah, it's just. Yeah, we'll see if their basketball teams take off.
Yeah,
their football teams.
They're gonna need it to.
Just try and prove we belong.
Hey, but this is where the fun begins, right? This is where conference matchups, big time games. You kind of get the feel of, like, now it's either shut up or put up time right now, and especially for a team like Colorado, big game at Oregon. Then they got to host USC next week. Heisman candidate Caleb Williams over there in Trojan land. Big 2 weeks coming up for Prime. Speaking of put up, shut up, we're gonna see what they can do.
Yeah, they barely did it against Colorado State, but
that was a hell of a ball game.
Yeah, it was.
Holy cow.
And I think they got Colorado State's best, but we'll see if they're able to take care of business against a very, very tough Pac-12. We need to take another break. On the other side, we'll close out the first hour here on the Full Court Press.
Do you have a fireplace or stove that isn't working right? Don't wait until winter to get it fixed. Get ahead of the game and get your fireplace or stove serviced now by the best of Northern Utah winter, Advanced Fireplace and Stove. They service everything from Quadra-Fire pellet stoves to heat and glow fireplaces. Get a 20% discount on your next service and labor when you mention this ad. Call 752-7272 or go to advancedfireplaceandstove.com. Advanced Fireplace and Stove, where comfort is their business.
Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, the Allergy Clinic and Hearing Aid Center are located in North Logan in the Three Peaks Medical Plaza and Providence on Gateway Drive. Doctors Benyon, Blotter, and Robinette and staff have over 75 years of combined medical experience, providing the very best patient care for ear, nose, and throat conditions. Most insurance products, including SelectMed, are accepted. Go to CacheValleyENT.com. That's CacheValleyENT.com for appointments and details. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, located in North Logan and Providence.
Copiers, printers, service, and supplies are just the beginning. Les Olson IT is the premier source for your business's structured cabling, IT, software, telephones, and security systems. We partner with you to find the ideal solution to all of your office technology needs. Tell us your goals and we'll get you there. Find out more at lesolson.com.
Les Olson IT.
Sunday on the Las Vegas Raiders Radio Network, the Silver and Black play host to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hi, this is Tim Cates. Join Jason Horowitz and Lincoln Kennedy for all the action. It's an old-school AFC rivalry as the Steelers come to Vegas to take on Jimmy Garoppolo and the Raiders. It's a home opener for the Silver and Black. Sunday Night Football, Raiders and Steelers. If it's the NFL, it's right here.
Pregame begins Sunday at 5:45 on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, The Fan.
The Aggies have scheduled a whiteout for Saturday night's game versus James Madison. Locker 42 will have you looking good with something new from their store full of game-ready Aggie gear. Hats, jackets, t-shirts, hoodies, including Aggie wear for the junior Aggie. Show your Aggie pride with a stop by Locker 42. Locker 42, always ready for game day.
The people have spoken. Steel-coated epoxy floors of Cache Valley is the 3-time gold medalist for Best of Northern Utah. Known for their extremely durable floor coating systems, they can completely transform your concrete, garages and shops, porches and patios. They coat it all. With over 25 years of operation, Steel-coated epoxy floors is Cache Valley's premier coating professionals. Contact Steel-coated floors of Cache Valley today. Find them online at scfcachevalley.com or call 435-512-1284.
It's the Full Court Press with Eric Franson and Jason Walker.
Final segment of the first hour here on the Full Court Press.
Hey, can I just take a quick selfish moment? So we buried my grandmother on Monday. She passed away late last week, unexpectedly. I want to thank you for letting me come on the show these past 2 days because she used to listen to the show. She still does. But she loved listening to the show and like, you know, listening to me on the Full Court Press and listening to Eric and you and she always made a big deal about it. I remember the first time I was on the show, she asked me what channels I was on DirecTV. She goes, I can't find you on ESPN. I was like, Grandma, I'm on the radio. You know, she finally found me like 45 minutes later, and I knew she did because she texted me and said to watch my language. But, you know, it meant a lot that you put me on the show the last couple days. You know, my grandma passing away and we buried her. And it was it's been really hard, and this makes up for it. So thank you, Jason, for letting me be part of this. This has been great.
I'm glad I could help you out. Always try and help people out best I can. 9 through 5, he's asking you a question. What movie did you pick from all the ones we recommended?
We're going Matrix. Yesterday? I'm going to go Matrix. I do need to go. I need to watch some Ted Lasso. I just need to see what the big deal is.
I've heard it's very heartwarming.
Heartwarming, really?
I've heard that about it.
No kidding. Okay.
Like it's a wholesome show.
I want to go. I want to watch the Bourne series too. I need to rewatch that because that was really, really good.
Yeah, that was a good one. I remember watching the first one. I think the second one too.
Yeah, first, second, good. Yeah, yep, absolutely.
Final bit of news here for the Full Court Press, or the conference realignment and expansion shows, we like to call it. So brought up earlier in the week the promotion relegation model. Well, the Oregon State athletic director commented on it, saying it was worthy of study. He said, quote, in terms of the model itself, I think there's some merit to look at some form of hybrid model that does support that. We see it working in similar fashion in Europe, and certainly it's worthy of our study. Close quote. So Oregon State says it's worth looking into. And apparently it was Boise State's idea, or at least they drew it up, this relegation model.
So they're throwing them a bone.
I think it's kind of significant that Boise State went through that because they're, in a relegation system, the people that are probably a little more in favor of it are the teams that are like, yeah, we'll never get relegated.
I think let's put on our big boy pants and let's just do this.
Just make it let's just bring it all under the Mountain West.
Can we be adult about this, please?
No, that would require being an adult.
It slaps.
And that's not happening. Like nobody's acting like an adult in college football forever. That's not going to happen again. They're all going to be greedy. They're all going to be. It's just everyone's going to act like a child in college football. Me. I. It's all about the me. It's all about the money. It's all about what's best for me. So that's what all the college administrators and all the people in power are doing.
Hey, high school football coming up next hour. I'm excited to talk some high school football.
Yeah, high school football, NFL, and Mountain West preview for this whole week. Don't go away. That's all coming up next here on the Full Court Press.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. In the NFL, injuries happen. Trayvon Diggs, Aaron Rodgers, Nick Chubb, all out for the rest of the season. In order to survive losing a star, contender needs to have depth. The Niners showed that last night. The team was missing 1,000-yard receiver Brandon Ayuk. No problem. Deebo Samuel can go for 129 and a touchdown. Christian McCaffrey, did he need rest? Yeah, he got it. Elijah Mitchell, averaging just under 5 yards per attempt in his career. If Brock Purdy goes down, the team has a former top 5 pick in Sam Darnold to fill the void. That doesn't even include the team's elite offensive and defensive line, one of the best linebacking tandems in the NFL, and an elite tight end in George Kittle. So while the Niners' star power often gets all the attention, Kyle Shanahan and that front office have built a complete roster, and with the prevalence of injuries in the NFL, that's probably going to come in handy down the line. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise.